You're listening to Coffee and Clouds, a podcast where you will be hearing inspirational stories of people from varying industries and their respective roads to success. My name is Jay Shrek. Let's have a conversation. It's Jay Shrek here, Coffee and Clouds. I'm here with HondaGuyDave. I tell you one thing, you cannot hear this guy's name or see this guy's face and not think of the HondaGuyDave song.
I get is in it, but Honda guy. I get is in it, but Honda guy. I get is in it, but Honda guy. Once says me, let's go Honda guy day. I want to get me a car today, so I got a good deal. I am not trying to pay. Arm in a let go Honda guy day. Once says me, let's go Honda guy day.
Whenever I see him, it plays in my head like all day after I see him. Cheers, man. We got some coffee going on.
Yes, sir. I don't know if you can see my cup. Damn.
The friend's
I
mug.
don't know. Yeah, my background is kind of just very flamboyant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It matches your personality.
Yeah, dude. That, believe it or not, there was a whole thought process that went into the whole Honda guy Dave thing. Like, it was crazy. Like, in my mind, I was like, yo, I got to do something where I'm always on people's mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like, and then when the song came out, I'm like, dang, this is so catchy. And then people will see me walking down the street like, oh, yo, big guy Dave.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that's my style of music, but even people that it's not their style of music, it'll still catch with them.
Yeah. Oh, well, I did the from the hip hop one, I went to the Latin hip hop fuse, but then I'm working on something too big for 2021.
Oh yeah. We won't tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. It's in the works. So, but yo, thanks for the opportunity to be here. I definitely appreciate it, and big up to what you're doing, man. This is awesome. This is huge.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's an
appreciate
honor to have
having
you
me
on
here. Dude, that's crazy. It's crazy somebody say that to me, That's crazy. I appreciate it, man. Real talk.
Yeah, just like we were saying with the song and the Honda Guy Dave and the whole persona. I mean, you've really just completely branded yourself where you are on people's minds. Anybody within the Honda family, the Madison Jersey area, you're like a household name when it comes to Honda and car sales. And you've expanded outside of which, using social media, through LinkedIn, networking with other professionals, and they all respect and appreciate what you do, and that's a tough crowd. I mean, I was part of that crowd for a while. I mean, everybody's real nice, but it's a real tough crowd to kind of make a name because, everybody's trying to do the same thing. So, it's an accomplishment to be able to do that. So
everybody tries to do it, but it takes a lot of grit to actually go out and do it and see things through from inception to the manifestation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't really worry about it. Like, I'm the first person that's gonna give you all the advice. Like, I'll help you. But it just knowing how many people drop out is it's something that it takes a long time. I was talking to somebody recently and they were like, Dave, I want to do this. I'm like, listen, the first thing I told him was like, bro, it's not easy at all. 2 years, I got 2 years working every day. Like, I'm up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. having ideas. Like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, this is a great idea. I got to write this down. I'm like, my wife thinks I'm a maniac.
Well, that's the thing, the hard work and the follow through and the dedication. So many people, they get the little sniff of failure and they want to quit.
Exactly.
And as long as you follow through, as long as you stay, stay on your grind, on your hustle, that's what a lot of people seem to, they seem to drop before they get to that point. So they could be so close, and they just drop before they get there because they feel it's not working. And they have to just follow their dreams, and follow their focus, and just be determined. You're a prime example of that.
Yeah, I mean, so many people. I was just thinking about this on the way home from work today, and I was saying to myself, like, yo, so many people, they give up on their ideas because somebody told them it was a bad idea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand how many people would it wouldn't exist if they did that? Like, your Tesla, at Steve Jobs, all these guys had an idea, and I'm sure many people told them Facebook, even Facebook, somebody said, "Yo, dude, this shit is crazy. It's never gonna work."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And imagine if they would have just stopped and then didn't go through with their plans. Like, you can't fuck what everybody else says. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you
Yeah.
have an idea and you think that it's a great idea, it doesn't matter if no one believes in it right now. Like,
Right.
just grind your ass off and show them till you just work your ass off until they're asking you like, "Yo, how can I join? How can I be a part of it? How can I get this going for myself too?" You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I mean, there's so many success stories. If you actually look into the background of it, you see like some of these major companies, they were started in a garage. A one man, two man team, 3-person team. I mean, yeah, Michael Jordan has been a very big success, and from being cut from the high school basketball team, and look who
yeah,
he is
imagine
now.
that. Yeah,
It's just like just because somebody thinks it's a bad idea or somebody doesn't agree with it, if it's something that you want to do, you have to just push forward.
no, I've,
Sure, you've got
I've,
some resistance,
man,
kind of move
listen,
forward.
what, dude? And it's like I'm made for that though. Like I'm
Yeah.
cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? Like everybody sees me, Honda guy Dave. Oh, Honda guy Dave. Like, I smile all the time. Like that's my thing. I'm always happy. I'm always projecting happiness onto the next person, and I always like to stay as positive as possible. But at one point it wasn't all like sunshine and daisies for me. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I think that's why. I think that's why I'm able to just kind of adapt and keep it pushing. Like the way I am now. You know what I mean? Like somebody comes to try to shit on my dream, it's okay, no problem. I've been dealing with this all my life, man. Adversity is like adversity university. That's what I've been through my whole life. So it wasn't always sunshine and daisies for me. I grew up in I was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And if anybody knows Atlantic City, like it's like really knows Atlantic City, is like nothing. There's no good part of Atlantic City.
Mm,
Like you got the casinos and then you just got the hood. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like there's no, how you got like you even got like neighborhoods like Patterson and like Passaic and you'll have like those little spots in town like it's the nice section. There's no nice section over there. You know what I mean? It's all bad.
Right.
But and I grew up in some of the most gruesome places on earth, I feel. Anyway, I was raised in Camden County, between Camden, New Jersey, Atlantic City, back and forth. I lived in the Bronx and stuff, my whole entire childhood from like 4 years old. I was at 4, I was taken away from my mother by the state of New Jersey. And it was something I didn't understand. And
Yes,
something
especially at
I've
a
come
young
to,
age.
yeah. I came to realize later on in life when I actually did like a whole inventory of my life, and I was really angry, for a long period of time in life, and it was a major setback for me.
Mm.
When you got somebody that comes in, rips you from your home, and when my first foster home, I was with my sister. I have a little sister. Her name is Jackie. That's my heart right there. I love her to death. Um, and my brother Gabriel, I have a brother, and then I also have an older brother Miguel. He lives in PA. That's my heart right there. Like my siblings are like everything to me, And
Yeah.
so we when we first got taken away, my brother actually stayed with my grandmother because when they came into the house, he was just happy to be there. So they were like, whatever, and she kept him, whatever. I didn't understand that until later on in life, but it is what it is. But we were together, me and Jackie and my brother Gabe, for a little bit of time until they realized like I was a very bad kid, man. Like, yeah, I was the most hyperactive kid you ever like meet. And then my
No.
sister was a wild one too. So, nobody could just take care of both of us at the same time. It was just crazy. And then they split us up not too long after. And
Right.
it's crazy because after that, like it went after that, I kind of bounced around from foster home to foster home because I was a smart ass. One of my first foster homes, when I was, by myself, like um, I was, I wouldn't, like I was way too smart for my own good. Like I felt like one thing I never got a B until I was like in high school. Like I
Mm.
was like a straight A student all throughout and going through everything I was going through, like not seeing my parents and, in the state of New Jersey, if you're in foster care for a certain amount of time, and this is like I'm 30 years old, so this is back in in the 90s. So in the 90s, the foster care system is nothing like what it was, like is what nothing like what it is today.
Okay.
There was a lot of people were getting lost in the system, and that happened to me. It happened to me. Happened to my sister. I got lost in the system, and I basically bounced around, and my parents ended up getting their parental rights taken away. And I went a very, very long time without seeing my parents, any of my siblings, and it was crazy because you know um, I was doing really well in school. So you get awards for doing well in school,
Mm.
and I remember like it was yesterday. Like I graduated from eighth grade, and in the National Junior Honor Society. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I was going into high school with honors already, and I remember like when they were handing me like my certificates and stuff. Like I looked in the crowd and I'm like, "Fuck, man, nobody's here for me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's traumatic, bro. It's really traumatic to be a kid that like excels. I was like, I'm really good in basketball. Like nobody knows that about me, but I'm like
Mm.
I'm pretty damn good in ball.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I played basketball all my life coming up too, and so I've always like I've always been that athletic kid, and but I just from a young age, like you're doing all these great things, you're accomplishing so much stuff, and your grades are good, so like I'm always getting like on the dean's list and this and that and principal's list, and then like you look and you come out of like the basketball game and everybody's clapping up their parents and their brothers and sisters, and like I'm just like, damn man, like I felt alone on
Yeah.
the planet, bro. Like,
Yeah. It's definitely understandable.
yeah, man,
That'd be
it's
rough.
it was very rough, man. Like, uh, like when you're like as a kid, and at the time, like I didn't understand that maybe they were trying to help me, but the system wasn't as advanced as it is now. So like they were trying to help me, but I kind of got in the way of that because I was a pain in the ass. Like I was a rebel. I decided that after like eighth grade, I just kind of started rebelling, and I really bounced around from. I was living at this one home for a while, and if I would have been good, I would have got adopted and all this extra stuff. But then I started messing around with the wrong crowd. I started getting, I was attracted to that gang life, and I started affiliating myself with the bad crowd, and some things started doing some things that I had no business doing. Thank God I'm not dead, or like I've never been to jail
Mm.
for anything serious. Like I've never gotten any felonies or anything like that. It was like the grace of God, because like everybody used to tell me like, dude, you're way too smart for this. Like you're crazy.
Right. Right.
And yeah, so I got like at one point the state finally got fed up with me. They were like, look, dude, you can't go into any more foster homes. Like nobody wants you. And I'm like, well, it's been like that my whole life, man. Like tell me something that isn't new. Tell me something new. So then I started going from group home to group home, and like, dude, I've been in some of the worst group homes. Like, I don't know how it is now, but when I was 14, let's say this is 2004, 2003, 2004, I was living in this group home in Camden and Kramer Hill, and it was like jail.
Really.
Like you had to you had to fight for your for your stuff. Like
Mm.
like the clothes, you go in the laundry room, and if somebody had a problem with you, like you lock in the laundry room, you got to fight, or else you're not getting out of there. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it was like that, bro. It was crazy, and I I ended up AWOLing from there. Like I walked out. Like one night, I kind of came out of the window in the room, and I just kind of jumped down and I took off. And I walked from Camden, New Jersey, to Willingboro, New Jersey, to what would now be like my best friend's house. I had a mentor, yacht worker, when I was 10 years old. His name was Anwar. He's like my best friend now. He's like a brother to me,
Mm.
and we kept in touch over all the years. But I walked all the way to his house from Camden, New Jersey. Like as a kid, that's a long, long, long
Yeah.
walk, dude. Like, and it was like the coldest night of the year too.
Huh.
And yeah, I remember I ended up going all the way over there, and Anwar's mom opened up her home for me when I after like I left like the home that I was living at when Anwar was my like big brother. They had this program. It was like a Big Brother program. It was like a Yap worker. So
Okay.
he used to take me out to like the movies and stuff like that. Like, do like brotherly things just because I didn't have that kind of interaction in my life. Like,
Right.
So, he'd take me out. We became really close, like real close. So his mom opened up her home to me, and then she took me in as like her first foster child, and I fucked that up, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, I started smoking weed, and one thing led to the other. I thought I was like a gangbanger. It was crazy. Don't even ask. It was ridiculous.
Mm.
But I left the group home. I ended up walking back to her house because I got kicked out of there because I was acting fool. And I ended up sleeping that night in my boy Sean's car. It was freezing cold, dude. It was like 20 degrees outside, dude. Not even. It was probably less, but it was so cold. And I'm thinking, like, I didn't know what I was doing, dude. I didn't know what I was doing. I remember that I was so cold, and I'm like looking around to see what I could warm myself up with, and I was like stuffing my jacket and my pants and
Right.
my clothes with newspaper. Like there was a newspaper in the car. I'm like stuffing myself all over the place.
Hey, whatever
And
works, right?
yeah, whatever works, bro. I was in survival mode, man. And after that, I went to his house in the morning, and they were like, "Look, man, we're gonna have to call this. We're gonna have to call DIFUS. Like, you're gonna be reported missing or something like that. Like, we can't get in trouble." So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I ended up going back to a group home, and from there, I kind of I AWOL'd again from this group home that they took me to because the last one didn't want to take me back because they were like, I'm a flight risk and this and that, and they didn't want to deal with it. So from the group home that they put me in after this one it was a lockdown facility, more or less. So like I couldn't leave unless they passed the card key through the door and all this extra shit.
Right. Wow.
And yeah, it was really bad. And we got like one of the supervisor's keys, and I got out and I took off running. I stood in the streets from then on for like maybe 2 years until I was like 16. And when I got picked up from DIFUS, they were like, look, you got two options. You either we're taking you to jail or you're just going to go back home with your parents. Because at 16 in New Jersey, you can legally sign documents.
Right.
Well, that's how it was then. I don't know what it is now.
I think it's still that way. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So they were like, look, you can sign yourself out, go to court, take care of you, go home. I'm like, fuck it. I'll go home, whatever, And dude, I thought it was gonna be like a homecoming type situation. It was gonna be good back home. I thought that's what it was. I thought that was for what was best for me because like the whole time I'm crying, like I just want to go home. I want to be with my parents. I want to be with my family. And dude, when I got home, like DIFUS took me to my mother's house after court, dropped me off there with my suitcase, and left, never to be heard from again.
Wow.
And yeah. So I think I don't know what it was supposed to be, but they were supposed to see me through high school and to college. So they were supposed to make sure I got into college. Dude, I never heard back from them, like, ever. They didn't even call me to see how I'm doing, But when I got home, dude, my mother was living in Atlantic City on Boston Road, right down the street from the Hilton. At the time, it was still the Hilton, and it was still there. So this is just, you can see how far back this kind of goes.
Yeah.
The Sands in Atlantic City was still a thing.
Wow.
At the time. Yeah. Yeah, I was there when they imploded that. But so we went, once they dropped me off, I walked in the house, and dude, it was a basement apartment in Atlantic City. And like there was, I kid you not, it was so many people in there, and it was like a 1-bedroom thing. Like you walk in and it was like the living room, walk a little further, there goes my mother's bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And like it was mad people saying that. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy, bro. I packed all my shit and I jumped on the train and I went back down to South Jersey, like further down South Jersey. I'm talking like Camden. And I just was ripping around the streets, bro. I was living selling drugs and whatever I could do to survive, to make a couple dollars. And, I was sleeping in crack houses, bro, because I ain't had nowhere to sleep. I ain't had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
I just had my boys. Like my boys, we sit around, smoke weed, we do this, we do that, and you know, that was pretty much it. And until one day I almost got arrested, and I had I had a decent amount of drugs on me, and we were acting up, you know, kids being kids, you know. We were drinking a little bit, and we ended up going to the Chinese store in this town, and I don't know what happened, but somehow my boy threw like a platter of food at the delivery driver's car, and they called the cops, and we got back into the town. Cops kind of ran down on us, and I had drugs in my pocket, and I was like, "Fuck,
Mm.
I'm going to jail." So I took off running, and it was raining or whatever, and I slipped. And I remember, like in my mind, like thinking, like, "Yo, I'm fucked. I'm going to jail for a very long time." But somehow, some way, like I got up with the cuffs behind me, and I had the drugs in like a chips bag, and I dumped them off. The cop didn't see it, and they took me to they actually took me to the police station. I was a minor, so they ended up taking me back to Atlantic City, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going through this shit again. And I stood there. I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. Try to get back into school, and I was still high school age, so I went back to school for a little bit, and I didn't really have the support from my parents that I thought I was gonna have. Like, you know, like people complain about the situations that they have at home. Like I had no support whatsoever, like zero. It
Yeah.
didn't exist. Like my dad was working as a dishwasher at the Hilton Casino for 20 some odd years. I don't know how he doesn't have a stake how he didn't have a stake in the company.
Mm.
And my mom has like mental health issues, so she's a sick woman, and so she really can't do much. But for whatever reason, I just didn't have like that normal parental support. Like, you know, all right, you gotta wake up, you gotta go to school, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I was
Right.
pretty much on my own. But even though I was like living with my parents, so it wasn't what I was expecting to go home to, you know. And so I went into high school in Atlantic City High School, you know, acting a fool, smoking weed in the bathroom, and you know all that other nonsense that delinquents do. And I ended up getting caught. Like I was in class, and the teacher was just looked at me and was like, "You're high," and I was like, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about?" Yeah, he was like, I'm like, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about?" So whatever happened, I ended up getting suspended for 21 days. And when you get suspended for 21 days, you can't go back to school until your parents take you back to school. You see what I'm saying? So my parents weren't taking me back to school. They didn't take me back, so I ended up dropping out of high school as a freshman.
Wow.
And yeah. And then I didn't go back to school until I actually didn't go back to school, dude. I was like, I was just living some type of like, in some type of bubble. Like, in Atlantic City, we got evicted from the apartment that we were living at on Boston Road. We ended up going to the spot in North Tennessee Ave. We ended up getting evicted from there as well. So it was like eviction after eviction after eviction until finally my mother and father, they basically moved into, like, if you go into Atlantic City, you know how you see like there's like the $40, $50, $30 hotel rooms for the night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were living in those, and I was just basically homeless.
Mm.
At I wasn't even 18, bro. Like I was young. I was like 17 years old at this point. And so I ended up staying at my brother's godfather's house until one day, like my mom and dad came to visit us, and he freaked out on my mom. I freaked out on him. I thought I was gonna kill him. So I ended up having to get out of there, and I ended up moving to New York. I was in the Bronx, and you know, so much trauma in my life. Like I didn't realize it till it was almost too late, but it caught up to me. You know, I was angry. I was angry, and I was like disappointed as well. So I started drinking a little bit. You know, I experimented with some drugs. Wasn't for me, but you know, I started drinking heavily, like at 17, 18. And you know, I lived in the Bronx, and literally all I did in New York was party.
Mm.
Like I didn't, like, dude, this is like I'm a 18-year-old man now with no education and no money. I play the congas. Like I'm really good at playing drums. And
Okay.
me and my brother and my cousin, we used to go to the train every day to play the drums, and we used to make money. I think we used to make like $100 a day. And like
Wow.
18-year-old kid with $100 a day, we're buying all the drugs, all the liquor. We getting
Right.
smashed every day. So
Yeah.
that's how I used to like, I used to take care of my habits that way. So, then I got introduced to like the party scene, like the clubs and everything like that. I got into that. I was a club promoter for a little bit. I thought I was anyway. It wasn't really good, but I met a lot of connections, and I was able to. We started like the street team. My buddy had a street team, and I was part of that. Like we do posters, flyers, and everything. And I used to talk to people, and people used to tell me like, "Yo, you're a really sharp kid," and I'm like, "Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't feel sharp though." Like
Mm.
4 a.m. in the morning, I'm handing out flyers for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. While you guys come out of the club having a great old time, popping all these bottles and fucking having a good old time, jumping into your nice cars and all that, and I'm out here fucking freezing my dick off
Mm.
to give you this flyer. You want to take my flyer? If you don't take my flyer, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
You gotta take my flyer. Yeah. So I ended up moving in with my man that was the promoter. Because I was always a hard worker. So like I'd be putting in the hours, man. Like I don't even care. Like whatever, I'm not doing anything anyway. I might as well be getting paid for it. So um, we did that. I did that for a little bit, and then we ended up moving. My man that was promoter, we ended up moving to Jersey from Brooklyn, and we moved to Patterson, and that's where I met my wife. And at this point, I was a full blown drunk, but I didn't know it yet. Like I wasn't. I was drinking every day. It was having a good old time, and it was just a party, and I didn't really suffer from it too much. But um, I'd say like when I moved to Patterson, that's when my alcoholism like took its peak. Um, I was partying, drinking every day, and I thought it was fine until one day I started shaking when I wasn't drinking.
No.
I was like, "What the hell is this?" It was so awkward. It was weird. Like I didn't understand it. And this would be like the beginning of me just just going on a whole tear, like just straight drinking every day, every
Yeah.
single day. Like whether I had a good day, bad day, celebrating or weren't celebrating, just because it was Tuesday. You know what I mean? Oh, I got a haircut. Let's go get a bottle. You know what I mean? Like like that, yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, this pretty much started like um my like run with alcohol. Um, I I pretty much at this point was no, I was a nobody. I had no education or anything like that, and we living in Patterson, and getting in trouble was like the only thing I knew how to really do at this point was hustle, and I was always was pretty good at selling commodities. I've always been good at that, So it was crazy because I get a lot of people used to tell me like, "Yo, Dave, you should sell cars," like and it's crazy that little while living in Patterson, I actually met my girl, which is now my wife. She was living downstairs from me, and we kind of hit it off. But we used to drink together and everything, and she I put her through a lot, man. I've worked every job you could possibly imagine. Like I've tried everything, and alcohol was always the reason that I was either let go or I stopped going to work because I couldn't make it through the jitters or whatever it was, and I lost a lot of employment opportunities, good opportunities too, But then one day, she was like, "Look, bro, you got to do something," and I ended up going back to school. I actually got my GED at
Oh,
Silk City Academy in Patterson, and
awesome.
Silk City. Yeah, so I was going to this like adult high school. They had an adult program. It was like you go to school for like 2 years and you get your 4 year high school diploma. But I was like, dude, I don't got 2 years. I don't got 4 years. Like I need to get my stuff now. So I opted out and I took the GED exam, and I took that and I passed it right away. It was like with flying colors.
Mm.
And so I signed up for college right away, and I automatically figured out that college was going to take too long too. Like I needed to make money right away, and so back to the weird jobs, trying things. So I found like sort of found my niche. You know what I mean? Like I was at that age where like Gary Vee talks about it. Somebody I idolize. He's like, "Yo, dude, when you're young, you got to try a bunch of shit until you figure out what it is that you love to do."
Right.
And so I did that. I literally did that. Like I sold Kirby vacuums. I did door-to-door sales. I was at Esco for IDT Energy. Like I was the guy that was knocking on your door asking for your electric bill. You know what I mean? That didn't
Okay.
work out. Yeah, like that didn't work out for me.
I've had a few of those come to
Um,
my door.
yeah. Like, hey, can you get your electric bill? You're the owner of the house. That was me right there. Yeah, like he's a big team gets together and then they drop you off in the middle of God knows where. Yeah, having dinner at people's houses, like trying to figure out how to use the bathroom. You know, it's crazy. But that was short lived. And then I ended up I was actually selling Kirby vacuums at one point. Like this was right before I got into the car business, and I was like, yo, this is I was okay. I was pretty damn good at it, but it got to the point where like you're coming home like at 2 a.m.
Mm,
from like Long Island, New York, like
yeah.
doing a show or whatever, and it just wasn't for me. And then at this point, my wife she was like, well, why don't you try to go to this dealership, you know? And legit, I kid you not, the reason I'm in auto sales is because of my wife.
Yeah.
So her friend's husband was working at a Toyota dealership and they were hiring somebody. I walked into the place fresh to death. I was like 60 pounds lighter. And and I walked in and I was like, they were like, oh, we're hiring. So the guy goes, so tell me why I should hire you. I was like, man, I sell Kirby vacuums. He was like, you're hired. Like right, just like that. Just like that. I kid you not.
Wow.
And yeah, he was like, "Oh man, you're a Kirby guy. We got you. You're on board." And and I did that for a while. I was still drinking, and I remember I was drunk one day in the middle of in the middle of work. I got up and I said, "All right, I'm out of here," and I just quit. Yeah, like I just walked right out, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, and I ended up working at a Honda dealership down the street from me, kind of in Clifton, and that was pretty good. I was pretty good in sales at that point. It was like kind of my first direct sales job for the auto business, but I was short lived too. And I blamed everybody and everything for why it didn't work out there and whatnot. And honestly, it was my fault because I was drinking,
Mm,
and it had gotten out of control at this point, and I went from one dealership to the next one, and that was short lived too because of my drinking. And it was crazy. After that experience, I ended up going to rehab for the first time, and I swear to you, I kid you not, like after rehab, like um, I could have sworn to you that I was never gonna drink again, and I'd have been telling the truth. Like it
wow.
was official. It
Yeah.
was good. I enjoyed it. It was something that I really needed, to kind of get away from. And be a funny story. Before rehab, I was like shaking like crazy because I hadn't drank, and when you don't drink alcohol, your body like needs it. It's not
Mm,
like you want it or anything like that. And there's no pain more great than not wanting to drink, but having to drink. Like it's painful. Like people think that I'm crazy. Like, dude, you can just not drink. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm
right.
gonna die. Like, I was like withdrawing something crazy, and
Well, that's why they
I,
kept open all the alcohols, stores during the quarantine, because
yeah,
for people that actually needed it.
yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, dude. But
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like, um, the night before I went to rehab, I had to get a bottle, and like, this is how crazy it was. Like, I couldn't have alcohol in my house with knowing it was there without drinking the whole thing. Like, I remember we had my wife wrote like a thing on the bottle, like this is where you got to stop at, and I was like, all right, cool. I ended up drinking the whole bottle, replacing it up to that point with iced tea.
Oh man.
Yes, I'm in rehab. I called her, hey, man, how you doing? He's like, you motherfucker, you drank the whole bottle. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, yeah. So it's crazy because I ended up, I actually got, when I got out of rehab, I actually ended up catching a DUI because I went back to drinking,
Mm,
right? And that was crazy for me, bro. That was such a blow, but that wasn't enough to stop me from drinking either, man. Like, the last time that I drank was I'm kind of like speeding through it because we already took one session, the two and then three, but
yeah.
so I'm trying to like speed through it. But the last time I drank, I got into the craziest altercation. It was insane. I got my ass whooped. I went to jail. it was insane. It was just terrible. Like I posted about it, you know, and
Mm,
it was I was I ended up going to jail, but like both of my eyes were like swollen shut, so I
mm,
couldn't see anything. And I was kind of like just forced to like pray because I had nothing else to do,
yeah.
like, you know. And I had like this crazy experience in jail, and uh, believe it or not, like while I was going through my last little run, I ran into this guy. I ended up selling him a car recently. My boy Mario. I helped him stop drinking. We used to drink together back in the days, and I don't know how or why, but I was like in Patterson. I was ordering a sandwich from this deli, 6 o'clock in the morning at this point. I'm drunk. I still have a bottle in the car. I'm like driving around like this, blasted. I don't know where I am. And I bump into him in the gas station, and he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And he put me in his car and took me home.
Mm,
And I ended up, one thing led to another, and then I ended up in jail after that. And like, I ended up getting a visitor in while I was in like in the county, and it was him. I was like, who the hell's coming to visit me? Like, I didn't even know anybody knew I was there, but I was like prepared to face whatever.
right.
Whatever I was gonna get, I was like, fuck it, and I already accepted in my mind, like, whatever it is, what it is. I'm just gonna do this, whatever time, if I get any time or whatever. I accepted it, and he was like, dude, he was on the other side of me. He was like, bro, I'm gonna help you, and I was like, damn, bro, it's crazy. Like to this day, he'll tell you, like, I helped him, and like here he was, like, thank God, like helping me, you know. And that was the last time I ever drank, dude. Like it was July 27th, no, July 29th, 2017. Was it 2017? 18, 19? No, 2018. That was the
Okay.
last time I drank. And you know, I came out of jail with a whole different like attitude because I accepted that everything that I was going through in life, like, you know, and you know, I stopped playing that woe is me and the pity party. Like, um, granted, it was really easy for me to build an addictive
Yeah.
personality and everything just based off of what I've been through in life, you
Right.
know, but I couldn't until I let all that shit go and like, you know, decide to like I gotta move on from this, like, and kind of just write it down and just move forward from it. Like it was always gonna own me. And I was able to do that through, you know, I'm an avid member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Just not supposed to use the name, but forgive me, guys. But
Mm,
so I was able to like, you know, work some real serious steps to get sober, and I've been sober ever since. And that's like I always tell people, they always ask me like, how long you been in the car business? I'm like, I've been in the car business for like 2 years, going on three, because all the other time I really wasn't able to apply myself, you
right.
know. And it's crazy because these past 2 years have been nothing short of like great, you know. And it's crazy because like when I talk to people and like, you know, we start to kind of like get to know each other a little more intimate than just salesperson customer, like, and I tell them like where I've been and what I've been through, they're like, damn, dude, like I would have never ever guessed that, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, bro, I'm just, you know, it's because it doesn't hurt, it doesn't hold me back anymore, you know. And um like, you know, I started selling cars. I started selling a lot more cars, obviously being sober and being able to talk and
Hmm,
being able to, yeah, being able to just kind of know what I'm doing. And, you know, so I started selling a lot more cars. You know, I came to Madison, and um, I actually had a, actually, I had a falling out in Madison, and that led to the last time I went to jail. And that was the last time I ended up drinking. So like, this is all like, yeah. So while I was at Madison Honda, I had like a whole falling out, and then it kind of fast forwarded into like it regressed. Like they say
mm,
that alcohol, when you drink, if you stop drinking, then you go back to it. Like you go back to where you left off, but 10 times worse. And
yeah.
that's super true. So like I was coming to work at Madison, and I was at the liquor store waiting for it to open. And then
Mm,
I wouldn't know how I was getting home. Like I had no idea. I wake up in my bed, like, how the fuck did I get here?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that led to the whole situation, going to jail and everything else. And dude, I kid you not, bro. Like, dude, I freaking love the Vince family, bro. Like, they took a chance with me, bro. They, you know, they was like, Dave, just take some time for yourself. Because after I got out of jail, like I was all beat up. They were like, dude, just take time for yourself. Whatever you need, we got you. You know, and they held me down, bro. Like, son, that doesn't happen anywhere, bro. Anybody,
Mm,
everywhere else is just gonna be like, yo, fuck you. you're drunk, go die. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and they, so I hold a lot of respect for them because of that. And and when I came back, I said to myself, like, you know what, like I'm gonna go harder than ever because you know what, like they were there for me. I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean for them.
Mm.
Just show them that I appreciate it. And the only way I could really do that is by working as hard as I possibly can. And that's when I got the idea, like, there's a ton of salespeople out there in the world, and like, I think the number is like there's a staggering number of how many
Yeah.
salespeople there are in
Yeah.
Jersey alone. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm like, I got to do something to kind of separate myself from that and from those people. So I was like, yo, I should like start like brand. I didn't know anything about branding until like I said before, like Gary V. Where I
Yeah.
started watching these guys and looking at these guys that have a crazy following on social media. And I was with you too. Like I learned a lot of things from you as well. And guys like King Boris, and I learned a lot of things from like just watching you guys work. And I was like, damn, yo, I need to do something like that, but like with my auto sales. And I have a really big like product knowledge with Hondas is crazy. Like I know a lot about these cars.
Mm.
So I was like, people used to just call me like the Honda guy, sort of, and then I just put Dave on it, and then that's where the name came. It actually just started with the name,
Right.
and I had my buddy make me a logo, and it started. That was just it. Like that was it. I didn't think it was gonna be this, like with songs and everything else. I
Yeah.
had no idea it was gonna be that, And kind of one thing just kind of bounced off of the next thing, and then I thought about it, and I was like, yo, what do people love? And I was like, again, listening to like Gary V, and you got to entertain people, and you got to do this, you got to get into people's phone, like you got to get into somebody's phone, you got to entertain them. Like the attention span now for somebody on social media, I think it's all the way down to like 10 seconds
Yeah.
or less now. So
Yeah.
like you
It
got that
drops
much
more and
time.
more as the generations go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So that's what they say. So like you got that much time to get them to watch your video and know that they're gonna watch it through to the end. So I'm like, how can I do this? And then the idea came. I have a bunch of friends that do music, and I'm like, dude, like I like legit, I kid you not, like the Honda Guy Dave song, the first one that I did with my buddy Daz, I would just mess around and just tell him like, um, we got to do this Honda Guy Dave track though. We got to do this Honda Guy Dave jingle though. Like I would just every time I talk to him, we just talk, and then it was a joke at first, and then one day he calls me, he's like, "Yo, D, check out your email," and boom, the first Honda Guy Dave song was there, and I was like, "Yo, this shit is fire, son. Shit
Yeah.
is crazy."
The song
Yeah,
and,
so
and then the video came.
then the video came. Yo, the video came like I was talking to my boy Conscious. He's the one that did the video. He did the second one. They edited it all up. He's a freaking dude. Engineering wise, he's a genius.
Mm.
Music and video editing. They got a whole group. They're fantastic. And um, yeah. So like he came with the camera. We did it one day. Dealership was closed. Went out there. I was like, yo, I got the Superman guy, right? The Honda Guy Dave. I was like, yo, I need to create this, like, but in human form. And I
Mm.
went and I got like the muscles and stuff like that. It was pretty dope. Like, I was walking around the showroom with the suit on, and they were like, yo, this kid is out of his fucking rocker. It's crazy.
but
And I'm like,
it's
you
stuck in
have no
people's minds though,
idea.
right?
Yeah. Now it's to the point where like people see me walking down the street in Madison, like, oh my God, you're the Honda guy. We love you. And
Well,
like
you were
fast
going to
forwarding.
different like events too with the suit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm Honda Guy Dave even when I'm not at work, dude. Like I
Right.
got Honda Guy Dave stickers on my computer right here. Like
Yeah.
my character on NBA 2K is named Madison's own Honda Guy Dave. Like I'm Honda Guy Dave. I eat, sleep, shit. I breathe that. Like you know what I'm saying. And that's what I mean. Like when we were talking before, I was like, this is something you got to be really dedicated to, and it's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. You know what I mean? And like getting your followers and stuff like that. Like that's the last thing you got to worry about. What you got to really worry about is, like caring,
Yeah.
right? Like the reason that I feel like I sell so many cars and I'm able to like get this relationship with people is because I'm actually passionate about what I do. Like when I was doing all those crazy jobs and I was trying this, I was trying that, I was looking for this, I was looking for that. Like, dude, I was trying to find my niche, and then I finally found it in auto sales, but I couldn't unlock my ultimate potential until I was able to stop drinking. And like not only just my job, but like, dude, on the whole, like my whole life has just been unbelievable, dude. Like I don't gotta worry about like worrying about when my next rent payment's gonna come or how I'm gonna do it, or like I don't gotta
Right.
worry about that right now. And I'm not like I'm not a rich man or anything like that, but I'm rich in other ways because I got my family now,
Hmm.
and I got my loving wife, I got my kids, like they could see me sober and enjoying what I do. Like my kids came to the video shoot when I did the remix, and like all the friends and everything, we was having a good old time, bro. Like and just for me to be able to provide for them like that is just it's amazing, dude. And
Yeah.
it's crazy because it's like 2 years ago, I was like I almost died. Like I literally tried to kill myself. Like I was at the point where I said to myself, I was like, you know what, there's really no purpose in me living. And I popped like 30 pills and I downed it with Hennessy. And like,
Mm.
like I was ready to end it all, and it was like, it's crazy because like at that time, like that's what I thought. I thought like that was the only option for me. Like I
Right.
thought like that's what alcohol does to you. Like, like, and anybody that's suffering, bro, like like my phone number, you could put my phone number anywhere here. You could call me, man. Like I will talk to you, whatever you need. Like I'll help you, you know? But like that's what the alcohol does to you. It makes you think like this is your only option. It's crazy because I thought that was it. Like I thought like, whatever, that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna end it all. Fuck it, And thank God I didn't, bro. Because now, like, dude, I got I have new friends. I have like I'm not alone anymore. You know what I mean? Like my whole life I was alone, and like now I'm no longer alone. I have a ton of friends. Like screw the social media. Like I could pick up the phone right now and call people and be like, "Yo, what's good, man? How you doing? Yo, Dave, how you, man?
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? I got people that call me to check on me when I'm doing bad. When my health's not good. Like, people give a fuck. And
Yeah.
it's all because when you drink, you push everybody away without knowing it. Nobody wants to deal with a nasty drunk. And it's crazy. But back to the branding situation. Um, I'm working on my next project now, soon coming. Um, my goal is, like you said before, you touched on it. You mentioned it, like household name. Like when I went into this 2 years ago, like I have it written down somewhere, and like in one of my notepads, I got a bunch of them. Like I want to become the household name. Like I want to
Hmm.
be a household name. Like that was like my number one line on the paper. Like
Right.
how do I become a household name? And like the shit, I know that it's working now because like I went into work one day and one of the girls that works were like, "Yo, we were at home, and I'm talking to my boyfriend and my father-in-law, and we're like, I don't know how it happened, but my father-in-law says like, yo, you know that guy, how the guy Dave?" And I'm like, "Damn, it's working. I'm a household name, man."
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's.
was like,
I
"Oh
bet you that
snap."
felt great inside to hear that, right?
That felt great, man. That felt fantastic. But the one day I'm walking up the street from Quick Check, down the street from Madison, right there,
Mhm.
and I'm walking back and I'm crossing the street, and like this felt awesome. Like I ain't even gonna hold you. Like this felt great. Maybe I'm like whatever, but hey, I worked hard for this. But so I'm walking down the street and like we cross, and I like we kind of moved out of the way because there was three ladies walking with a stroller, and they were like, "Yo, wait, uh, you're the guy. You're the Honda guy. We love your videos."
Yeah. Oh
I was
man.
like,
It's wild.
yeah, that is, bro. I was like, yo, man, that's sick, bro. And 2020 was my absolute best year in the automotive industry. Best
Which
year
is
by
definitely an
far.
accomplishment given everything that's gone on in
Yeah,
2020.
exactly. That's crazy. Yo, 2020 is a B, and 2020 is crazy. But like, believe it or not, like this whole pandemic situation for the automotive biz has been pretty good. Like I was selling 30 cars, 30 cars, 31, 32, 30, 31. Like I was just killing it,
Hmm.
and it was the best year I've had in the car business by far. And I think that 2021 is going to be even better because now I'm going 3 years into Madison. I got those customers that are coming back, but I kind of established a small like following, right? And like people were talking about Honda Guy Dave, and it feels crazy. Like it's crazy. I try to stay humble all the time, but I do get my little moments where I'm like, oh, Honda Guy Dave.
Yes.
Woo. But but I try to stay humble. My wife always tells me like this, be humble, be humble. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I got you. She gotta remind me sometimes, but it's look where I came from, bro. I came from
Yeah.
nothing. So like to have like people calling me like, yo, we saw your video online. We want to come see you. And I'm like, damn, man, like that feels good, bro. Like, just some kid. I was a foster child my whole life, and people are telling me that I'm an inspiration to them. You know what I'm saying? And like that's
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's why I share my story as much as I possibly can.
Definitely,
Because
because I mean, it's it's very motivational, very inspirational to to see where you came from, and where you are now, and what you have coming for you in the future. Like you said, yeah, 2021, you have a lot planned. If you were able to have a successful year this year, I can only imagine what 2021 entails. You know.
yeah, I'm so excited, man. I got my planner already filled up, dude. Like I got yeah, I got my 2021 planner in November, and I started filling that out, like just writing everything down and just all my goals, and and it's a lot of things that I got going on that it's crazy. Like none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for like one hard work and dedication. Like you got to stick to it. Like anybody that's going in the business and is trying to do like some type of branding or something like that, like rule number one is you got to stick to it. Like it's not easy. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And like, no matter what the obstacle is, somebody telling you like, oh, you can't do it. Like you got to stick on it. Like screw what everybody else thinks. You know what I mean? Because if I could do it, trust me, everybody could do it. Because
Mm.
you might not notice, but I'm like, I was always stage fright. Like I've been like that kid. Like I'm very outspoken now, and I've kind of gotten over it a little bit. But like, if somebody was to tell me like, yo, put me on the spot, like here's a perfect example. I know how to dance salsa, right? But if
Okay.
somebody tells me, like, oh, dance with them, I'm like, oh no, I can't do it. Like I get
Oh, that's
stage
just rude.
fright.
That I was going to ask you to dance for me.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like just do it for me, hard. And my wife always gets at me for that, but I'll be like, nah. And so like I'm pretty stage fright. So for me to be able to do it and get shit done, like, dude, like anybody can. It just takes the right amount of motivation, the right amount of like, you know, um, dedication and drive, like, and just you got to look at anybody that's like the naysayers and like just completely walk away.
Yeah.
Like I've cut off so many people, bro. Like I've cut off people that I thought were gonna be my boys to the end of the like till forever. One, if somebody offers me alcohol and they know I don't drink, I will cut you off in a heartbeat. Like you just don't care about me at all at that point. You
Right.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you want to see me dead, you know? And then two, like if I really feel very strongly about like this idea that I have and you tell me like, oh bro, you fucking bugging, like you stupid, that shit ain't never gonna work. I gotta cut you off because you small minded.
Mhm.
I ain't got no time for small minded people.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna surround myself with everybody that I want to become, the type of people that I want to be in the future, like, and people that have what I want and they can show me how to get it. You know what I mean? Like I want I want to surround myself with people that are crazy enough to fucking jump into a separate Honda Guy Dave outfit, and we go out to the march to the fucking events, parties, whatever. I'll be waiting outside the club 4 o'clock a.m. but without a flyer with my Honda Guy Dave cape on, like, yo, buy a car for me. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's how I'm giving it up, man. 2021 is gonna be a crazy year, bro. But what you got? What do you have? What do you got? What do you have planned, man?
I'm just trying to bring back the podcasts here, jump it off, and trying to bring back some more of my business that I had done before. A lot of this stuff that I was doing, the social media stuff, the design and all that. So I'm really trying to bring everything together. So it's finding the time is the hardest part.
It's not enough time in the day, bro. I was having
No.
a conversation with somebody, and they were like, "Yo, what's your They were like, "What's your favorite thing about Like, they were like, if you had one, what's the worst thing about like, everything that you do?" I'm like, "Bro, there's not enough time.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time in the day. Like, and I can't create a duplicate me. Like, it's just like
I wish it
I
just poof.
I've tried to force it on people, but like they just think I'm insane. They're like, "Yo, you're nuts. Like, how do you even think this is gonna work?" I'm like, "Watch it work. Watch me work, and watch this work." You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I've almost gotten to the point where I'm at, like, I'm selling all these cars, and like I take very minimal customers fresh from the door. Like my goal is to never take another fresh up again. And everybody that I get comes from either social media, a referral, a friend saw my quirky videos and says, yo, you got to go see this guy. He's awesome.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, that's where I want to be in 2021. I'm thinking that if everything goes to plan, please, if everything goes to plan, I'll probably need to get an assistant by March.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I got to drink some water now because that was a long story, man.
I got my coffee. That's what I need. That's all I got.
Yeah,
it's my flavored water.
There you go. Best flavor out there, man. But listen, bro, I want to thank you for opening up your platform to let a guy like me get on here and you know, talk to Pete, and you know, hopefully somebody sees this and says, you know what, that's awesome, man. I want to talk to this guy. Like I said, like a reason I share my story is just to kind of let people know that are currently maybe going through what I've gone through or something similar, or battling with some type of addiction, some type of like alcohol problem, or maybe they're in foster care, or maybe they're like, they're angry, or maybe they're going through something and they feel like their life isn't worth anything. And maybe they're feeling like they want to give up, you know what I mean? And maybe they're feeling like it's impossible, you know, because I felt like that. I share my story for them just so they can see, like, you know, here's a guy that has gone through what I'm going through from the same neck of the woods like me, you know, like I'm from the hood, like, you know what I mean? Like nobody will know that because I'm great at paradigm shifting, you know what I mean? But that's something that I learned over the years. But you know what I mean? Like, here's a guy that's been through what I've gone through, and he's been right where, like, walking through the same, like in the same shoes as me. Like, dude, my phone is always on, and like I want to encourage anybody that listens to this or sees this that to call me. Like, please, like, don't suffer anymore. Like, there's a way out, and you can do it. You can make it. And you know, life is so precious, and you know, like a lot of times we take so much for granted. Like, you know, and this is you only get one shot at life, you know? Yeah. So terrible to just throw it away, bro. It's definitely where there's a will, there's a way. And there wouldn't be a HondaGuyDave today if I'd have decided like to end it all back then, you know? And so that's why I really share my story, and I'm trying to go everywhere with it, you know, like whoever needs to hear it, like I want everybody to hear, you know? Yeah. And I appreciate you, bro, for having me on.
Definitely, I appreciate you coming on. It was definitely an honor to have you on, and you know, like you said, sharing your story, you know, shows people, you know, never give up if they're going through, you know, if they follow their dreams, if they follow, you know, with some hard work and dedication, they'll be able to get it done.
That's right.
So, but yeah, it was definitely an honor to have you on. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. And 2021, man. Here's the 2021 Coffee and Clouds.
There we go.
Let's go. Peace, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man. Thank you for calling HondaGuyDave. Yes, give me a moment, please. HondaGuyDave, how can I help you? Yes, give me one quick second. Thank you for calling HondaGuyDave. How can I help you? Hold on. So, wait, you said they're outside.
La guarida musical del Estefino. Manager Music. JB. Everybody's calling HondaGuyDave. Mira que en el Honda voy por ahí. Ey, todo el mundo quiere HondaGuyDave. 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 Everybody's calling HondaGuyDave. Mira que en el Honda voy por ahí. Ey, todo el mundo quiere HondaGuyDave. 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 Ah, sube el volumen y explótalo todo. Coge el número de la pantalla, apúntalo. Ey, dale, llámalo y dile que tienes la buena oferta para el que dice que no. Everybody's calling HondaGuyDave. Mira que en el Honda voy por ahí. Ey, todo el mundo quiere HondaGuyDave. 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 Everybody's calling HondaGuyDave. Mira que en el Honda voy por ahí. Ey, todo el mundo quiere HondaGuyDave. HondaGuyDave. HondaGuyDave.
Ay, ¿qué is in neighborhood Honda guy. I get is in neighborhood Honda guy. I get is in neighborhood Honda guy. Once has been let's call HondaGuyDave. I want to get me a car today, so I got a good deal. I am not trying to pay. Arm in a leg call HondaGuyDave. Once has been let's call HondaGuyDave. I get HondaGuyDave. I get HondaGuyDave. I get HondaGuyDave. HondaGuyDave. HondaGuyDave.
I get. Log on to HondaGuyDave.com today.